You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. Harry's misery. Harry's not a happy chappy. How do we know this? One, look at him. Dishevelled, all over the place, grimacing. Invariably, he doesn't look particularly pleased. But we also know this because he's in the grip of a narcissist. And that means that where there is the dynamic between narcissist and intimate partner primary source, which is what Harry is, he gets the good stuff, he gets the golden period, which is what drew him in and caused him to disappear off to America, that has caused him to think that he's found the one, his soulmate, someone who lets him do anything sexually, that someone who is so hot, and he's been fed the illusion. Then, after a period of somewhere between 6 to 18 months, sometimes a bit longer, along comes a sustained devaluation. There's no avoiding it. It always happens. That then means that the victim, the intimate partner primary source, finds themselves being devalued, then given respite periods where the golden period makes a reappearance for a period of time, and then it's back to being sustained devaluation. This fluctuates. He might get 2 weeks of respite, then back to being devalued. He can be devalued in the morning, and then golden period again in the afternoon, and then devalued again in the evening. There'll be periods of relative calm where nothing really appears to be happening. But he's in the sustained devaluation period. This, of course, is not going to make him happy. Nobody's happy when they're being devalued. But what does Harry's devaluation look like? What is behind the misery that he's undoubtedly experiencing? What does this sustained devaluation look like when you're dealing with a mid-range narcissist, such as Harry's wife? Well, with the mid-range narcissist, they believe themselves to be good people. And they operate externally with a facade of kindness, empathy, which is false, of course, and helpfulness, believing themselves to care about other people and portray to the outside world an idyllic marriage, that they care for their family, that they're a good mother, good father, perfect family person, good at their job, pillar of the community, etc. But behind the facade, there is the long-suffering, intimate partner primary source. And for Harry, he will be subjected to a raft of manipulations which are malign in nature, which are done to keep him under control, to bring him under control, to extract fuel from him, and in effect punish him, because subconsciously Harry's wife now sees him as a traitor and treacherous, that he has in effect let her down by not proving to be the marvellous, wonderful person that she thought he was when seen through the rose-tinted specks of her own golden period. She will triangulate him with objects. For example, she'll be preoccupied with her phone, prodding the screen whilst ignoring what he has to say, laughing to herself at something that comes through in a message, leaving Harry to wonder who is it that she's texting. She will triangulate him with objects in terms of spending a lot of money, going off shopping, coming back with things that she doesn't need, which will aggravate Harry. She will repeatedly triangulate him with people. This will be done in 2 ways. She will compare him to others. Marcus wouldn't have done that. William would have dealt with their paparazzi far more effectively than you did, you ginger coward. And also hanging out with other people, spending time with people that perhaps makes Harry suspicious with regard to what's going on between her and the other person, being flirtatious with that individual to cause Harry's jealousy of his wife to manifest. She will use triangulation a lot as a means of controlling him through this devaluation. There will be a lot of silent treatments for him, mainly present silent treatments. I don't see that necessarily Harry's wife will absent herself for days at a time from him, but rather she just won't speak to him, giving the cold shoulder, glaring at him, icy silences, causing him to retreat to the chicken coop or off to his hotel room, or, as I've mentioned in parts past him, leading him to playing on the PlayStation until the middle of the night. Plenty of silent treatments, easy to effect and devastating in their impact upon the victim. There will be pity plays, so that she wants him to feel sorry for her. You caused all of this. It's your family that have made my life a misery. If it wasn't for you, I would be happy, etc. She will invalidate him. Whenever he tries to speak, she will cut him down. She will suggest that his feelings don't matter, that he's had plenty of time to sort his shit out, that he should have dealt with this in therapy, and now's not the time. She'll belittle him. She will tell him that he's less than a man. She will say that he hasn't achieved anything in his life, that she's the one that brings in the money, that she's the one that people talk about, that he is a dead weight. She'll use denial, messing with his head with regard to the revision of history, truly believing it to be the case, but saying, this didn't happen, this didn't occur. No, you've got it wrong. It didn't happen like that. And Harry, as a combination of not being that bright, in the fug of his use of drugs and his emotional thinking, will be not knowing his arse from his elbow with regard to what has gone on. She'll make him feel guilty. He has emotional empathy, and he does love his wife. He will be made to feel guilty by her, saying, I sacrificed so much for you. I did all of this for you, and look where it's left me. She will blame shift, repeatedly making out that it's his fault. He'll be subjected to word salads as she'll go into some monologue and diatribe which he can't follow. She'll triangulate him with the children, often utilising threatening to leave with them, threatening to cut him off from them. She will triangulate with the children by spending time with them and ignoring him, by criticising his parenting of them. She will utilise the trait of not good enough. No matter what he does to try and please her, she always picks up a fault, micromanages him, shoots him down in some way. She'll bring up the past. Where he's fought back and his ginger temper has exploded, she'll throw that back in his face. She'll make false accusations. She'll accuse him of doing things that he didn't, accuse him of having affairs, accuse him of looking at the maid the wrong way, accuse him of getting a boner when a female delivery driver turned up with the package. She'll engage in sexual withdrawal. A big part of the spell that she's been able to hold over Harry has been the lashings of spicy poontang that she has provided. That will repeatedly be withdrawn. She'll use his vulnerabilities against him, particularly with regard to the death of his mother, as I've explained in parts passing. She'll find fault in what he does. He'll be subjected to circular conversations, being ground down, possibly coupled with keeping him awake late at night, going over the same thing time and time again. She'll come up with false problems, creating an emergency, falling to the floor, sobbing, so that he has to immediately do something as a combination of a combined pity play and false problem. She isolates him, keeping him away from family and friends so that he has no support networks. She'll repeatedly provoke him. There will be potentially physical violence, although this is not a go-to for the middle-range narcissist. They can become physically violent, most likely with scratching, slapping, pushing and spitting taking place. She'll insult him. She'll shout at him. She will argue with him. A lot of her behaviours will be more linked to cold fury, because that is the go-to for the middle-mid-ranger. But they will sometimes utilise heated fury, and one can see with Harry's wife that that's likely to come to the fore in certain instances when nobody else is around, so that she smashes and destroys property, thus triangulating him with the damage, shouting and screaming at him as a consequence of the ignition of heated fury. But when other people are around, as part of maintaining a facade in front of them, for instance in front of staff, in front of visitors, etc., he will be more likely subjected to cold fury. Those are the range of manipulations that Harry is likely to be experiencing, and give you some insight into the way that a middle-mid-range narcissist will behave towards their intimate partner, primary source. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.